Hey everybody, it's Michelle from Michelle's Garden. I know what you're thinking. How can you have a YouTube channel and not put out any content? It's been a while. I've been busy. And there's really not a whole lot going on in the garden this time of the year. I got a few things growing and I'm going to take you around and show you some of them. I got a lot to do the next few months. Getting the garden ready for spring. Got some compost to put out, some weeding to do, greenhouse to finish. So I'm going to show you some of what I got growing. Let me turn you around. So here I got some kale. Those are my two kale plants growing. They're doing pretty good. That's a broccoli plant. The rest of these here are broccoli. There's one sunflower that's in the back right here, and it's not going to survive the winter. It's been back there for a while so far. We've had a few frosts, but I think it's because it's right here beside the garage, and the overhang of the garage protects it from the frost, but it's not going to live the winter. So I'm going to take you up here and show you what I got going on in the garden. I cleaned out a big space right there beside my blueberries. I'd like to make a huge raised bed and put strawberries there, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do just yet. A lot of space to grow. Okay, let's walk up here to the beautiful garden. You know, there was a lot of pretty leaves out here a few months, well, it's about a month ago. I guess it was so beautiful out here. We didn't get to see leaves like that last year in the fall. It was like they fell off too fast. It was awesome out here about a month ago. I need to turn the water off. I'm watering what plants I do have in the garden. I've been watering my greens. Let me show you what I got going on over here in the garden. It's beautiful out here today. I think it's supposed to be in the high 50s. Crazy weather for December. We're going to have a couple of days. It's going to be pushing really close to 70. I bought some onion sets from Dixondale Farms, and I could have swore last year I put onions in the ground in November. If I did, I'm a little late this year, but I don't know if it's good to put them in the ground or not, but I'm going to put them in the ground and see what happens. So let's go inside the garden. Right here's my celery plant that's just humongous. You know, that's been in there since way back around March, February and March. I've pulled off of it some. These are my Brussels sprouts still hanging in there. Now they suffered from a little bit of pest damage at first. There's some browning on some of the leaves. But I want you to see these Brussels sprouts. These are so cool. I got my hand wet because I watered that stuff. That is a Brussels sprout. Isn't that amazing? This is the first time I've ever grown Brussels sprouts, and I think they're pretty cool. This is my pineapple plant that bit the dust. Now that's just a top of a pineapple that I just chopped off and stuck in the ground. Had I had the greenhouse up, I would have tried to take that out and put it in the greenhouse, but maybe next year. These are all my marigolds and basil that bit the dust. This little guy's still hanging in there. He's gonna be out here all winter watching over the garden. These are the rows that I really need to clean out. This side of the garden I didn't do anything with yet. I need to clean it out, put some new compost down, and I may or may not cover it up until I plant in the spring. I'm not sure. You know, I'd like to maybe cover each one of my rows up to keep weeds from coming back through it, but I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do that. I'm thinking about one of these 2 rows right here, putting my onion sets in. I had them in the back part of this side of the garden last year, but I got some carrots there right now. And so these are my cabbages, a couple of them. They've got some pest damage, but otherwise doing really good. I just stepped on a water bucket. I'm gonna trip, kill myself. That's a pretty good head of cabbage right there. There's some more cabbage. In the center there is some buttercrunch lettuce. I'm probably gonna pull that out. It's got some damage. That's a leftover sunflower. Missed it the first time. There's my monster okra plant. I'm thinking about pulling those pods off there and saving the seeds. I do believe this right here is some turnip greens. They started out slow. I planted those from seed. Now the cabbage plants I bought at Walmart, and I probably won't do that again next year. I'll probably try to grow my own from seed. Those are some collards right in there. And this here is lettuce. That's arugula. It's been pretty good growing. I've got some romaine right there that probably needs pulling out. There's some more cabbage. I think I got like 6 heads of cabbage. You can see some of the pest damage there. I think that's grasshopper damage. But they're doing pretty good. I've never grown this stuff before. I think it's pretty amazing to watch it grow. Down here we've got some greens. That's some collards. They're not doing the best, but I like that one right there. It's really drooping. I picked probably like 3 handfuls of these greens right here. The first part of this is turnip greens right in here. Let me see if I can pull these back and find a pretty turnip. There's one. Ain't that pretty? And then those are mustard greens. Now when I planted these, some of my seeds kind of rolled down the hill, and you see some of the greens growing down there on the side. And these plants right here were called kohlrabi. And I think it's supposed to get like a big, sort of looks like a turnip on the bottom of it. They may take some time to grow. They're hanging in there. And over here, that's my carrots. Now I had talked about in one of my videos about planting carrots, putting your seeds down. Well, first you wet your ground really, really good. You soak it really good because carrot seeds are tiny little seeds. And you put your seeds down after you've watered your ground, and you lay a board on top of that, and you just keep it moist until they sprout. Now I did that, and that's all that I got out of a pack of seeds. Now I done that last year and had great success with it. This year, not so much. And there's a few more carrots. Now I had some beets on the end here. There's still a few lingering in there. They didn't survive the frost. Some of them did, but they really weren't that healthy, and I went ahead and pulled them out just a little while ago. And this is usually my potato patch, and it's built up really big, and there's a lot of compost in this row right here. It's really deep, it's really wide, so I may put some onions here and then put my potatoes somewhere else when it's time to plant those. The only thing I didn't do with this fall garden was I didn't keep my drip irrigation. It is irritating. My drip irrigation, I didn't keep it in the ground. And I wish I had, because I've been using this sprinkler to water everything, and I'd rather water at the roots instead of overhead watering. Now here's some carrots that I stuck in a raised bed. I just threw the seeds down and just kept it moist, and they're doing pretty good. Everything grows so slow in a fall garden, but there is a window for things, you know, like August and September, and I didn't get some things in the ground when I should have. And like your carrots, I think they should be producing carrots by now, but I didn't get this stuff in the ground till late. These are some more turnip greens and some collards. That's a full bed of greens right there, and I've been picking off of that. And then these are called cabbage leaf plants. I just had a package of seeds and put them in there. They're not really doing the greatest, but they're not doing really bad either. And there's my poor, pitiful banana tree. They're not meant to make it through the cold weather. It'll come back next year. Now I'm hoping in this area right here to build a raised bed for strawberries. I really like to have some strawberries contained in the garden and then put some sort of netting over top of it to keep the birds off of it, and having the raised bed in the garden keep the animals out of it from the outside. I got a ton of stuff to do out here. I'm trying to figure out what I can do today since it's nice out here today. Here's the greenhouse, guys. This is how much we've got done on it so far. We've got the post in the ground, we've got the bows up, and the center rod that goes down the middle is called a purlin. We've got it up. I'm so happy to have this greenhouse up because I've had it since March, but we've had one thing or another keep us from getting it up. We had another house that we were working on getting on the market to sell. That took up a lot of our time. But I've got to put some 2x6s down each side. They'll go at the very bottom, down the center, and at the very top of the post before it starts to bow over. And that will be where I'll put a track that holds the plastic on, and then it's got sides that will roll up. I can roll them halfway up. That would allow air to circulate through it in the warmer weather. And on the sides where I roll it up, I'm going to put some screen so that animals can't get in it, and it'll still be able to circulate some air. So I just recently got some ground cover to put on the ground, because I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm not going to grow food in the ground. My first year in the greenhouse, I'm probably just going to start seeds. As I'm getting ready to work on putting my ground cover down under the greenhouse, and before I get started, I wanted to show you a little bit about what it looks like. I got it from Grower Solutions. It's listed under ground cover. Some people call it weed barrier. This is professional grade ground cover. I've got it down in my garden because I decided I was not ever going to hoe weeds again if I can avoid it. And I'm going to put this ground cover down on the floor of the greenhouse because I don't plan on growing anything in the dirt that is in the greenhouse. I'm going to probably make some raised beds in there eventually, but for now I'm going to use it for just starting some seeds this coming spring. But let me show you a little bit about what this ground cover looks like. So I just ripped open the package, and it's pretty good ground cover. I mean, this is 3 feet by 300 feet, and it's pretty heavy duty. It's pretty thick, and it does a good job at keeping weeds out. I mean, you can see I've got some just like this in here in the garden, and I've got some that's got the red stripes in it. It's the one with the red stripes is not quite as thick, but it still works just as good. But They sent me a roll of this when I bought my greenhouse, and I used it in the garden, so I had to order another roll. And this 3x300 is about $92 and change. But I'm going to get to putting some of this down, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here's what the first row looks like. And you can see that it looks a little bit wavy, but it will flatten out the more you walk on it. You know, you can prepare your ground underneath a little bit better, but I didn't feel like I needed to. So here's my fabric staples. Now I got this box right here. This is some cheap ones I got at Lowe's Hardware. These little bitty ones right here, that might be good for some really soft ground. You can use that in these, in a flower bed or something, but for what I'm doing, let me show you the difference in the heavy duty. This is so much better if you're going to put this down. Say you're going to lay it out and you're going to burn holes in this to grow some tomato plants or something. If your ground has not worked really well and nice and soft, these will work, but you really want these heavy duty ones are better. So this is what it looked like when I hit a rock. Totally deformed it. So I've ran out of the heavy duty ones, and I'm gonna have to get some more before I can finish this project, but I got a little bit done. A little bit counts. I'm just super excited about having this thing, and I can't wait till I can get a lot of it done, and I'll just show you the progress as we go along. So that's it till next time, guys. See ya.